Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Tacoimposters for October 13th, Thursday, October 13th, 2022. Yeah. You know what I was doing? I was watching, I was going through YouTube and I found a video from about a week ago, right? Or I saw it about a week ago. And it was the Tintin movie. And, like, it was such a weird thing, because it was a weird time in, like, animation, because it was, like, it's motion capture, so it was, like, this weird time of, because I think the first motion capture was Final Fantasy. I think it's called Spirits Within. And he was like, this guy was comparing them, like, from that point to one of the last ones. I don't even know if they've ever made a motion captured animated movie after that. Maybe, I don't know. Animation's weird that way though. We always try and make it either look well, because that's the other thing. Because he was also bringing up the fact that, like, Spirits Within was trying to look like. I just saw something up there, and I'm like, is that what I think it is? Oh, no, anyway, sorry. Might be. Nope, never mind. It's in the same shape of the bottle. Never mind. Sorry, I saw something. Anyway, nothing. Yeah. So, it was trying to look like normal and like realistic, while it was just not realistic at all. Like, it just didn't have the technology to be realistic. But then, something like Tintin was, like, realistic, but still had this, like, art style that, like, you're like, hey, this is not realistic at all. So it didn't quite get that uncanny valley of, like, oh god, this is weird, because it's, like, real, but not. It didn't really have that. It, like, had enough of its own, like, weird, caricatured animation look to it. Because a lot of people say that it looks like a plasticine, weird, like, you have, like, a latex face over things. Because I'll tell you what motion capture is. Motion capture are the movies like, apparently Happy Feet was a motion capture movie. Okay, sure. Then there were things like, and then, like, there was something else. What was another one? Oh, I don't know, but I know, Polar Express was a motion capture, and a lot of people just didn't like that movie. Well, no. Let me preface that with, they didn't like the look of it. It looked kind of weird. Some people, the story's amazing. Everybody loves it. I think it's my favorite Christmas movie now that I break it down. Like, now that I think about it, because I thought about it for, like, years, and I'm like, what's our favorite Christmas movie? And it's like, oh, I like The Grinch, but there's just something about Polar Express where it's just awesome and cool, and, like, there's epic parts, there's the cool parts, and it brings it. I don't know. It has a good spirit of Christmas too. I have to say, as opposed to a lot of other movies where it's like, what is this crap? Not that it's bad. A lot of the other movies are bad, but I'm just like, what? Okay, anyway, yeah. So I mean, I think I've learned that I don't really care about any Christmas movies, but if I had to pick a favorite Christmas movie, it'd probably be The Polar Express, just because. I don't know. Anyway, and look, I don't hate the Polar Express look. It is weird. You can definitely tell it's like weird. And motion capture, because motion capture is usually used for things like when you want to make a person, like you don't want to have to animate someone. You can just put something over something else digitally, like over a person or something. Like what's it called? Like a good example of that is always like, I don't know his name. It's like Andy something or other. Not Andy Serkis. Andy something. The guy who played Gollum or Smeagol. That guy. That's a thing. And I always associated them kind of with, like, the opposite of rotoscoping. Or I see it as, like, the opposite of rotoscoping, because rotoscoping is when you take a person, he'll walk around, right? And then you just, like, trace over that. Although I don't know when it looks really, like, realistic and, like, it's, like, basically a person. I guess. Oh, well. See, I don't know exactly the details of stuff. I always say to people I always want to be animation and do animation stuff, and it's like, I don't ever look into stuff and, like, how this works and how, I don't know. It's weird like that. Also, I haven't finished that one course I started on animation. It's like a freaking course on animation online. Never finished it, because it's like a Udemy thing. I really got to do that, because I really do. I did sit for, like, what, like, 2 weeks ago? Sat for like 2 days. I sat for like an hour for two different days. 2 or 3 different days. Just doing shapes that's what somebody said. Or that's what the teacher said. She was like, okay, now you gotta stop. And you gotta do S's, C's, U's, upside down U's, backwards C's, backwards S's, triangles, circles, squares, rectangles, triangles, pyramids, cubes, spheres, cylinders, cones. Right? I'm like, oh my gosh. And I did it with my mom too, like what, a year ago probably? Well, honestly, like, jeez. Or like, maybe like early this year, I don't remember. God dang. Fudge, man. So yeah. Anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah. So, I mean, and I watched Tintin in theaters twice. Twice in theaters. And I thought it was decent. I thought it was a decent movie. The story was... No, but the thing that brought me up to why I wanted to actually record something right now was because I saw another one. Like, I saw another, like, video of it, about it. Just now, like a thumbnail or something. And it made me think, that movie... Because I hate when movies, okay, do that thing, okay, where they imply a sequel. They don't, like, directly imply a sequel either. But they, like, imply, oh, there could be a sequel to this. Oh, great. Like, it kind of just ends. Like, you could always also see it as just, like, it's over. Like, that's it. But also, like, but it could end. It could just... all right, it could end. It's, like, over. It's done. Or it could have a sequel. Or this could be, like, a thing about a sequel. Like, the first movie I saw about... or the first movie I can remember seeing that in was the City of Ember movie. Spoiler alerts. I'm going to tell you right now. I'll give you, like, I don't know. I'll give you 10 seconds now before I, spoil the whole ending of that movie. Okay, or 5, whatever, 10, 7, I don't know. Where they get out right at the end, and they're looking at, like, they get out and they're, like, looking at the world, right? The world. And it's like, oh my gosh. And they, like, see, like, something in the distance. They see, like, a people or civilization or something. They see the city of Sparks, I believe. And then it's just, like, and it just, like, pans off to, like a, I don't know if it was a drone shot at that point. I don't know when that movie came out, so it could have been just a helicopter shot. But anyway, and it's like just a big over panning shot, and it's like, it's just over. Of them in a field of Linus and Dune. Oh, Linus? Lena? Lina? Linus? Lina? Lina? I think Lena. Lina. Or was it? I don't know. Don't ask me how to pronounce her name, because I've heard it both ways, I think. I just don't remember which one's which, because I remember one being for the movie and one being for the audiobook. Lina. Anyway. And so I read the whole series. I read the whole series. I remember freaking nothing of 3 and 3, though. But anyway. Actually, I remember nothing of basically all of it, except 1, because 1 was very, like, easy city member. Just regular city member was just... It's not a, crazy story. I can remember most of it. Anyway. So yeah, that one. That was the first one, and it, like... Not for... I was going to say for years, and maybe like, oh my god, we're going to have a sequel. No, but like, me and my brother were like, there could be a sequel to this? There could be a sequel to this! This is amazing! Is there more to this? There's more! And then it just never happened, and then we just kind of like, oh, what the heck was that all about? Not that it was, like, horrible, but what was that all about? And then there's other ones like, and then the next one I remember was Spider-Man 2, where it did this thing where it was like, Spider-Man, oh, no, sorry, Amazing Spider-Man 2, I have to clarify that. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Where they bring up the whole Sinister Six thing, and they're like, oh yeah, the Sinister Six, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have a whole thing about it, and like, they were going to produce Spider-Man 3, but then they just didn't. Because Sony, and they changed Spider-Man again to Tom Holland, and from Andrew Garfield, and whatever. Who cares? Like, I didn't really give a hoot either. Like, okay, people would have cared, but I didn't give a hoot. I was like, whatever. To me, I don't care. I was like, whatever, who cares? Although I probably would have liked it, because I liked Spider-Man 2. I was one of the people who liked Amazing Spider-Man 2. I never saw Amazing Spider-Man 1, weirdly enough. Never seen Amazing Spider-Man 1, but I like Amazing Spider-Man 2. I liked Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't know if I watch it again, would I actually like it? I've only seen it... Did I see it twice? I'm trying to see did I see it twice? I may have seen it twice, actually. Maybe. Possibly, I don't know. Anyway. That was around the same time I saw the new reboots of the second. That's the other thing. Okay, that's the other one I saw the second of. I saw the second. I'm just thinking of movies now that I've seen the second, like the sequel to, not the first. Weird. I could probably, if I really like thought about it and wrote them all down, I could probably find a bunch of movies I've seen the second, not the first. Anyway, I can tell you a whole bunch of movies I like the second better than the first, but I'm just wondering, like, I'm thinking, what movies have I seen that were the second, not the first? Anyway, it was the new Star Trek movies with Chris Pine or Chris Evans. Oh, one of the Chris's. The new ones with J.J. Abrams' version. You know, when he directed it. And oh my god, they were like, I saw a second one. I saw a second one of that. My brother has the first, so I could probably watch it, but I've seen parts of the first one. But like that one, I've seen the second one. Anyway, around the same time, you know. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is the point I was getting at was like, the point I was going to get at was, so that was the first movie I saw that did that trope of like, oh, well, it could be a sequel, you know. There could be a sequel to this. So me, like, oh, yeah. Titty Vember. And then, what's it called? And then Tintin did that. It was like, at the end where it's like, I don't even remember. I do not remember that movie at all, really. I kind of remember bits and pieces of that movie, like, just little things here and there. I remember it being good. But even at the time, I think I remember even at the time, I think because I had seen it twice, having seen it twice, I went, okay, never have to, like, I'll never really want to see this again. Because that's the other thing. I went back to watch, like, the TV show of the episodes of the, like, because I own, on DVD, I own the, moon landing one, the one they go to the moon, like, the moon one. And then I know I've at least read one of them, I think. I think they were the first, unicorn one that the movie is based on. Right? I still don't understand how that became the most popular one. I don't know. Became the most, like, well-known story of Tintin. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe it was like marketed better. I have no idea. Like, it was like more. I don't know. I have no idea. Because I read the rest of them and, like, they're all kind of the same, but it wasn't, like, super special. Maybe it was something to do with Captain Haddock and, like, it was connected, and I don't know. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, I don't know if I've read both of them. Or there's three, technically. I think there's technically three, like, stories. There's two that are directly connected and one that's, like, still connected, but, like, some other, I don't even know. I think there's technically three. There's, like, an underwater, like, expedition, and then, like, there's two of the, like, actual Secret of Unicorn issues, books, comics, whatever you want to call them. What was I saying? Yeah, so, I mean, so, yeah, so I have that one. So I went back to watching the TV show, and I was like, oh, this is actually not bad. Like, I'd actually watch this again. I like this. It's not horrible. But, like, that was recently. Maybe if I go back and watch the Tintin movie again, I could find out, like, I would think, oh, it's actually better than I remember. It's pretty good. Whatever. I don't know. I just don't remember, like, jack squat about it. I remember liking the weird look of it, too, as a kid, because, like the guy said in the video that I was watching, it is one of the best. It is the best. I think it is the best, like, version, the best use of that, like, motion capture stuff. I think it is. Because it has its own thing to it. It doesn't make it look like a weird fake, like, action figure-y weird whatever, and it doesn't look like a human. Or try to be too human, with giving us that Uncanny Valley feel. So it really does fall under that, like, it does a good job of being its own thing. See, well, I have to also preface this with, I never really liked Tintin as a kid, really. My best friend had, like, every book on Tintin. I think he had every book. He might have had a few that he didn't have, but I'm sure he had like, a lot of them, is all I remember. He had the 4 episodes that were, or 5, whatever, of the ones that anybody ever read, which was the Moon and the Secret Unicorn ones, right? And then had a few other random ones here and there. Anyway. So, he liked it. But that was one of the things that he did not shove down my throat with, like, we didn't just do this all the time, and we didn't experience it, and we didn't, like, do things with it all the time. Right? Anyway, so he liked it, but I never really got into Tintin. Because Tintin was never really a thing that was, like, ingrained into anything. It was just a thing that existed. Right? It was like, okay, whatever. Like, my generation, there was nobody who was just like, yeah. It was just kind of like, it exists, it's a thing, yeah, sure. But it wasn't, like, ingrained into everything. Kind of like this, you know, the way, like, Transformers got its own... Well, Transformers, because there was movies up the wazoo, but... I was going to say Transformers, but, like, what was the other one? Ninja Turtles and Transformers, where it's always going to kind of exist. And it's not something like, I'm trying to think of one, because I know there are ones where, like, this is irrelevant. This is not even, there's no movie about it, there's no TV show, there's no this, but it's still a popular thing. There's got to be one that I can think of. I'm probably going to think of one. Because I can tell you there are some. I know there are. Where it's that thing where there's no TV show, there's no movie, there's no toy line, there's no thing to bring it up, but it's still a popular thing that people like. That's in the popular pop culture. It's gotta be, I guess maybe like Peanuts, maybe. Although there was a movie that came out in 2015. And they always had the Christmas special running. So, it's not nearly as, like, completely irrelevant, like... But something like that, where it's like... There's nothing special happening with it, but it's still a popular thing. Somewhere. It's gotta be... And it's a kid's something, isn't it? Kid's property or something. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah. I remember nothing. Maybe I'll come back to this in the next episode and see where I can, like, watch. Because that's another one of those things. It's one of those things, where do you watch Tintin? If anybody knows where I can watch the Tintin movie, please let me know. Because I don't have it on DVD. Nowhere to be on DVD. Oh, crap. And I don't have it on... And I don't know what streaming service has it. So, where can I watch it? And then, look, I don't want to buy it off of, like... Or rent it off of, like, Amazon, Apple, like, iTunes, or Google Play, please. If I don't have to. I have Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and, you know, there's all the other ones, Tubi, and Crackle, and, although, you know, technically it's only an American thing, but I have a VPN, so, anyway, I don't know how legal that is. I feel like it might be, I don't know. I could see, okay, I'm just gonna say one thing about that. I could see there being a law created where they can't geo-restrict you. I could see that. I could just see like a law come out where it's like, oh, you can't geo-restrict people, that's illegal. How come these people have this, you know, anyway. But yeah. You know, I like Tubi a lot. And then there's, if you want a good video about free streaming services, watch Billiam's video on the free streaming services. I think it's his last video he made, or maybe one before that, I don't remember. It's pretty good on like an in-depth analysis on like, are these any good? Are any of them any good? Anyway. But yeah, so there's a way, so if you can tell me how to watch them, that'd be nice. How to watch it? If like, cause I could probably look it up. Cause I found a website. Okay, I found a website. One of the good websites that I found was, it's called Just Watch, I think. And it'll tell you where things are to watch. Like, which streaming service has this thing on it, you know? Or which, whatever. I don't have Apple Plus, TV Plus, whatever, Apple TV. And so, because I was trying to look for the Charlie Brown stuff, because I wanted to watch the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special, because here in Canada, Thanksgiving is the second weekend of October, I think. Is it? Yes. Second Monday of October, correct? I believe so. Yes. I believe so. Anyway. And the only place it's on is on Disney Plus, because they made... Or Disney Plus. Nope. It's on... Nope! It's on Apple TV Plus or whatever. And so... Like, oh, because I made like a deal. I think I remember that because it was like a big thing. What was it, like 2016 or 17 or 15 or something? Where they had a big like, they're not going to show it on, I think it was it ABC that showed it like every year since it came out or something? I think that's a network. I'm reading a book on on like the history of peanuts and like how peanuts are made, peanut comic stuff is made. And I probably did. It's so weird how random details get strung into my brain. Like, oh, I'll remember this detail, but that detail, forget it. I don't remember it. I'm so terrible. Oh, it's awful that way. Anyway, like, I'm terrible with it that way. And it's usually the thing the information I want, or the information I need to remember. And it's like, oh, but I'll remember this random fact anyway. Or this random piece of information anyway. Sorry. Yeah, so if you can tell me where to watch Tintin, I'll watch it. I don't want illegal sites. Anyway, I was talking about for a sec there, Peanuts. And so I ended up having to watch Peanuts in like, broken up parts on one of the like playlists, you you can't upload the whole video or whatever to YouTube, off of YouTube. Sorry, I was sort of like in a playlist thing. And it wasn't even the full thing. It was only it was the like, not the part where they explained, where Linus starts explaining the history of the whole thing. Of Thanksgiving, no. No. I want to say it'll be shown on TV, but now that I say that, now I remember that being there. Maybe it won't be shown on TV anymore. I don't think it has been shown on TV for a while. Here's the stupid thing. I had to record it on a PVR, right? Oopsies. Sorry, there was like a bug of some kind. Fly or something. Anyway, yeah, on PVR. And the PVR decided to die, and all the things recorded on it were dead. I'm like, you suck. I was like, you suck. Now it's gone, so. Well, what I want to know sometimes is, how do they get, like, when you find something, usually off a legal website, and it's got, like, the watermark of, like, or even if it's just uploaded to YouTube, right? And it's not something recorded off of TV, like, recording the TV, right? It's not recording the screen. So, I never understand. It's probably something it's probably way more simple than you think, or it's not super simple, but it's, like, one or two devices, or, like, there's, like, you connect this to this, or you, like, connect this to your computer through this, and bam, this software just does it, TV recording stuff, or, like, it's got the, like, watermark of the TV. I never understood how they did that. How somebody would get that. Watermark of, like, the channel, the station, TV channel. It's like ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, that kind of stuff. Like, what? How do you... I never understood how to do that, but anyway. Maybe somebody knows how they do that. Anyway. And then so that's how I ended up watching that, so... Because it's stupid. It's dumb. It used to be... Well, I know... What's it called? Used to be fully on there. The, Halloween used to be on YouTube, but it's not anymore. And then wow. English. I'm on a, like, Garfield Discord server, and I asked, where do you watch the Garfield, like, special? And they're like, Halloween special, and they're like, YouTube. YouTube is the best place to watch it. Yeah. That's everywhere, it's surprisingly enough. I think it's because it's not really maintained the same way. Because I thought about it, like, kind of the same way copyright laws, like, you have to enforce your copyright, or else... Oh, that's copywritten material. Yeah, but if you don't enforce your copyright, right, it kind of goes under this, like, falls into the cracks, and, like, it's not in copyright anymore, kind of thing. Well, you don't enforce it, so... I guess it'd be like all the laws where it's like, a law is only a law if it's enforced. It can in theory be said or written somewhere, but if it's not enforced, there's no, like, the law can basically virtually just non-exist. Might as well non-exist, So, yeah. What was I thinking? So yeah. So maybe I'll look up Just Watch, see what it says there, or like where to watch it. Because you just put in whatever you want, and then it'll just tell you what streaming service it's on. And it'll say paid. It'll be like paid, free, most convenient, cheapest. I don't know about convenient actually, but cheapest. So, anyway. So maybe it'll be better than I remember. I don't know. I haven't seen it since then. I haven't seen it since it came out. The movie of Tintin. So, yeah. So I mean, yeah. So Tintin did that stupid thing where it goes at the end where it's like, because that was only the first part of the movie. Because about a first part of the, like, story. Because From what I remember, look, I don't think I've read the rest of these Tintin ones. I might not even have read the one, the one where they actually go and look for the treasure, right? The secret of the unicorn. Might be the one where they're like diving underwater. Anyway, but it was something to the effect of, look for it, and then there was like treasure in the second one where they like go find the actual treasure. So again, spoiler alert. I'll give you 10 seconds right now to spoiler alert before I break it, because I remember the end of the movie. Okay, so the end of the movie goes, they like blow, because they get to like Captain Haddock's one of his ancestors' mansions or one of his relatives' mansions, or house or something, I don't know. And in the basement there's like a cellar, and then they break a hole through like the wall or something, the bricks, and they see something in there. And then like, oh, or they find a map to the treasure or something, and they're like, oh, go find the treasure. And that peeved me off a little, because I was like, wait, so there is going to be, like, this was kind of more direct, like, oh, could be sequel. There's going to be sequel here. It's like, not really. And that, I think I remember thinking, so when's the sequel coming out? And then it just never happened. I guess I kind of forgot. I guess it was also another one of those, because I didn't care about the actual, like, I didn't care about Tintin enough. I didn't have this, like, okay, so, like, I love this, like, where's the sequel? Like, oh, I can't wait for the sequel. It's going to be great. You know, like, I love, you know, like, I follow up and see no, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's on that, because I found a, wiki, like a fan wiki, whatever you call them, wiki fan, whatever those things are called, where it was, oh my gosh, where it was, like, forgotten media or something, or lost media or something, or cancelled media or something. So it's things like Dumbo 2 and, the Popeye movie and stuff like that, right? They're like, supposed to come out like 27, I want to say like 2016 or 2017 or 2018, somewhere in that range. There's like supposed to be a Popeye animated movie, never came out. There's a trailer for it. So that's the thing that like I'm always baffled about. Like, you went through the trouble to show us that it exists. Like, when it's lost media, like, okay, you just got concept art or drawings, concept drawings or ideas or like whatever, fine. But when you get, well, I was gonna say, but when you get like a trailer, to me it's like, okay, whatever. The worst is when movies get canned or media gets canned, and there's like a significant amount of it, and then it just gets crapped. Oh, we ran out of money. It's like, what? How did you get this far without realizing I don't have the money to do that? That's the thing that, like, you didn't plan that right. I'm not saying it's horrible, because I could see that happening to someone like me, like, making a project, a big-esque project, and then just being like, no, this is ridiculous. Like, and then I'm like, oh, I have no more money. Like, I ran out of funds or whatever. Anyway, I could see that happening, though. So it's not that crazy, actually. Well, I don't know. Anyway. So, yeah. They really were like, oh, there might be, like, there really was like, oh, there could be a sequel to this. Oh my gosh. None of them have peeved me off that much, though. It was always kind of like, oh, okay. When it didn't happen. I guess it's because I was never super, like, invested in any of it. So, it never was like, yeah, I love, like, I can't wait. Oh, it'll be amazing if there's another one. Or maybe it's just that I don't care long enough. Like I might care, but I wouldn't like care. I don't know, because there's two things that that I remember. Two things I used to read as a kid. Well, not read, but were like popular comics other than like superhero stuff. Well, there were like four. There was four. Okay, there's four like popular comic strips you read as a kid. You know, you did Garfield, you did Calvin and Hobbes, Tintin, and Asterix and Obelix, and in that order Calvin and Hobbes, then Garfield, then Tintin, then Asterix and Obelix, in that order of like popularity. You know, I have a few, like, because my dad liked Tintin. Oh no, not Tintin. My dad liked Asterix and Obelix, but I never cared for it. And it's another one of those things where it's like, it's a fine thing, I just don't care. Also, the stories never grasped me. That's my thing with books. with reading anything, it has to like really grasp me to like want to know more, want to see more. Comics to me don't work that like well. Because I remember talking to my friend about anime, right? And manga, reading manga, and just being like, I remember being like, I remember he said, at one point he like stops and he goes, okay, well, if you're not a, comic book person, then, forget the whole manga. Forget manga altogether. You're not going to really like manga at all. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not a comic book character. I have probably like maybe 2 dozen, maybe 2 dozen, maybe 2.5, 3 dozen comic books. And I've only read like 2, 3, maybe. I got a whole bunch of comics one time for Christmas, and I tried reading them, and I just didn't care. Also, it was one of those stories where if you didn't have the previous one, it wouldn't make sense. Or I had a few in the middle that weren't there. It's like, I don't know. Just to me, it was like, oh, I think that's the problem with comics. I don't think anybody's ever going to be able to, like, read all the comics anyway. Because, like, you're going to miss some, or you're going to need all of them, or whatever. I don't know. But, yeah. So that's the thing. Something about comics that just doesn't work for me. Maybe it's the structure. Maybe it's the stories. Maybe it's the, like, content. I don't know. But just something about it just doesn't work. Not that it's horrible, but I just don't know. Sorry. Like, just something about it I just don't connect with. There's only 2 books that ever, like, grasped me, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and I cannot stop reading it. Didn't read. I listened to it. Actually, technically, hey, let's be honest here. I technically found a PDF of it. Now, don't expose me, but I found a PDF of Ready Player One, and I had some robot app read the speech to text to speech. I don't condone that, but you say nothing about that. Anyway, so it had it read to me, and the robot didn't know how to repeat most things and other things. And anyway, some words were just weird, like Artemis was Artemis and stuff like that. I don't know, and pronunciations of things. Anyway, but so I listened to Ready Player One, and then I read Andy Schrock's book. I don't know if you know Andy Schrock. If you know Andy Schrock, the YouTuber, he Yesterday Erased, and those books changed my life. Well, Andy Schrock changed my life in the sense that, like, it was just an emotional roller coaster. Just whoa, oh my, whoa, that was just like wow, okay. And the Ready Player One was just like a really good book. Like Ready Player 2, apparently people are mixed on. I think, from what I've heard, most people like it, but there's like a weird... Anyway, I haven't started reading that one at all. So, but, Ready Player One was a weird... Because it was actually interesting. It was a cool idea and an interesting concept, and like a dystopian future that could kind of exist. Although I remember asking on some... I think it was like a VR... subreddit, and it was like, you think we could ever get to Ready Player One status of VR? And it's like, and I think somebody said, well, what do you mean by that? Do you mean quality, or do you mean integrated into our lives? And I think I said to the effect of like both, and he was like, well, quality maybe, but integrated into our lives, forget it. No, there's something about it just doesn't work. I don't know. And that was before Metaverse. So, that was before Facebook's big old Metaverse thing, So, anyway, those are the only 2 books that I ever, like, grasped and was like, this is amazing. Like, these are books that I want to read and hear, I've never found another book. To be brutally honest with you, I've only ever read, like, full chapter, like, novels, like 3 or 4 maybe. The problem is, I'm also like, I keep saying this, I don't know if I do. I have symptoms of it, but can you have some symptoms of ADHD? Or do you have to have all anyway? I don't know if, and is ADHD a spectrum? No, right? It's not. but it's both by dyslexia, because I'm 95% sure, 98% sure, whatever, I have dyslexia. I can tell you, like, or a form of like, because dyslexia is a spectrum disorder, I have symptoms of dyslexia, all, definitely. So it's dyslexic, it's the, like, my brain freaking, like, my brain physically, I'm like, gets tired, like, I can feel my head just be like, oh my god, whoa, oh, what? 100%, like 100%. Now the ADHD is also like, not ADHD, ADD. I don't think I have the hyper part of it, but I do have the, like, attention. It could just be like before you like tip the scale of, like, you have ADD or ADHD. You just have bad focus. There's, like, maybe that's a thing. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a brain mental doctor, so don't quote me on any of this, and I don't know what I'm talking about really, but I'm just saying, like, I can't focus on reading them ever at all. It could just be like the attention span is just awful. My attention span is just awful, like, whatever. But those two books, like, they got, I don't know, something about them. So it shows that there are like, I can read it if I find something I like. So it's not just a, like, oh, reading's bad for you. No. Or you don't have attention, or it's, just, it's cumbersome with the dyslexia. No, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, because the stories were actually good. That was the other thing about it. Like, they were interesting to read, rather than, like, I don't know where we're going with that, but yeah, they were good stories. Anyway, so yeah. That's probably why I never actually finished a Tintin or, like, a comic book or any of that kind of stuff. I read the one, and actually, again, it's probably a lie, because I probably had my dad read that to me as, like, a young child, right? Also, that's the thing. When I say I read a book, I mean personally, I have sat down, cracked it open, and read it myself. Because I did have loads of books. Okay, not loads, but at least maybe like 5 or 6. 4, 5, 6 books, 4 to 6 books read to me as a child by my mother. Me and my brother, we had a whole, like, section of time. I was probably between the ages of, like, 7 and 10. And yes, you would think, oh, you should be reading on your own by now, but, like, no. I would never have read none of them. Things like, I think we read, did we read The Jungle Book? Maybe. We didn't read Alice in Wonderland. I saw a play on Alice in Wonderland. I didn't even see a play on Alice in Wonderland. It was a play on Through the Looking Glass. So the second one. Anyway, what else? I read, not Peter Pan. I listened to Peter Pan on my own. I listened to Peter Pan up to a certain point. Again, even that, I just couldn't listen to them. I don't know, it's just something about it. See, that's another reason why it's not me, in the sense that it's not that I hate reading or I hate having to sit down and, like, focus on one thing. No, it's that I can do that if the content is, interesting and it can hold me, right? If I'm doing nothing, I'm sitting there just listening to it, and I don't care. Anyway, no, I didn't. I know I did Moby Dick, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I believe, and James and the Giant Peach and Matilda, I think, and SEO Trot, which is tortoise, backwards, so a lot of Roald Dahl. What else did we read? We read random weird books like Anna's Suitcase, which is like the World War II story. Not Anne Frank's diary. Anna's Suitcase. Anyway, I also play about that too. We might have done Jungle Book. I don't know if we did though. Anyway, it doesn't matter what we read, but like, so I think that one issue of, or one that book of Tintin was read to me, actually, so I didn't even read it. So, yeah. Again, I want to get into reading, but the problem is terrible. No offense. Also, I don't know where to look for good books. There's an app called not recommend me. I can think of the ad, and I can kind of picture the logo too, like, or the colors at least. What is it called? It's like Likewise. That's it. Likewise. And I think it has to do a whole bunch of like, you have to like get to know your preferences. So you have to like keep feeding it things, and then it'll eventually like figure out, okay, well, you kind of like this. So based on like, because I think some of the first things were like, what have you? It depends on what you were looking for. You know, a book, a movie, a TV show. I don't know if it does video games or podcasts, but that would be cool. But I know for those three, you know, it's like, well, what have you read prior, right? Because because Likewise is basically an app that tries to recommend you things based on what you've already done. So the ads are always stuff like, I read the Harry Potter series, but now that it's over, now what do I read? And the Likewise app will like recommend you things that are kind of like it. You might like. I don't know. And then another thing that I remember, it might sneeze. Just give me a second here. No, that's annoying. Maybe give me a second. No. Anyway, because like I tried to reread. Also, was it last year? I think I tried to reread. Or maybe it was the year before that. No, I think it was last year. Anyway, reread Ready Player One, and I was like, I think it was kind of a little bit too much of this. I know what's kind of coming, so the story isn't fresh. So it's like, oh, it kind of like spoils almost a little, because it's such an. I think it's because it's such an epic, like, crazy thing. Like, there's a lot to it that like that. I'm like, oh, I know all the like things, like the crazy plots. Anyway, which you would think I would be okay with, because no offense, like, I've watched like the same stuff over and over and over again. As a kid, I had maybe a dozen, maybe 2 dozen, right? Things that I just watched like over and over and over again. I would not go and look for something new. I would not go watch the movies that were like epic classics that everyone's like, oh, you've never seen that movie? Whatever. No. So now it's like, oh, you've never seen that movie? You know. No, I watched the same like 3 Disney movies, or whatever, same dozen Disney movies, and like maybe another dozen, or maybe half a dozen random other movies over and over and over again. Anyway. But no, because I do it epically. Anyway. Yeah. So I've read 3 books. Now I can remember 3. I read Back to the Future Part 3. So I finished that book. I finished, I read Ready Player One, and I read Yesterday Erased. So that's 3. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I tried to listen to that. Well, because on archive.org they have the like Audible audiobook read by the guy from Star Trek. What's his name? The guy from or was in The Big Bang Theory. What's his name? The guy that Sheldon doesn't like, and not the guy at the university doesn't like with the weird lisp. No, what's his name? Oh, what's his name? The guy from Star Trek. What's his name? Will Wheaton. Read by Will Wheaton. I think he's from Star Trek anyway. Anyway. I'm wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, yeah, so I'm rereading that. And then I tried rereading, I think around the same time, maybe a year before that, I tried to reread, the Charlie Bones series. And I was just like, this is kind of lame. This is kind of whatever. It just didn't grasp me. I was like, I don't care. I just don't care. And then recently I tried to reread The City of Ember. And again, I was like, oh my god, I just don't care. So I watched the movie and I was like, I'm satisfied for like ever. Because when I rewatched the movie, I was like, okay, I don't know if I would in any way, shape, or form give a hoot about watching this ever again. I don't know. Something about it. I was like, yep, satisfied kind of. I might watch it again, but there's very little chance. Anyway, so yeah. And not because it's like horrible. It's a little bit of this, I kind of know what's going to come, So, like, also because it's so much mental effort to actually read them, or listen to them, or focus, that unlike, a movie where you can just, like, switch out and, like, whatever, you have to mentally be there, and so because you have to mentally be there, it's like, oh my god. So, it's that, like, right, mentally be there, it's like, oh my god. That's why. It has to really, like, I don't know. Probably why I don't like reading in general. Like, I don't love reading in general. It's that mental thing of, like, okay, well, if I'm going to use a lot of mental, like, not mental strength, but mental, like, invest mentally into this, like, to actually do this. It's got to be something I really like, or it really, grasps me and keeps me reading. So, keeps me invested. Which is kind of also why I can't do, like, I can do a 2-hour movie most times, but I can't do a series of anything. You know? No, I'm gonna step on all the people who are like, oh, I can't do 70 episodes or 700 episodes, whatever it is, right? Stupid, no, it's a significant amount of episodes, all the time invested in my life. Like, I don't, and I just don't care to, like, whatever. I don't know. That's just my opinion. So, if you got book recommendations, please let me know, because, good golly, Miss Molly, I'd love to read a good book. Like, a book that, like, also, I like fantasy books. I like, adventure books. I tried reading some of the, like, classic books, and they didn't capture me. I think there was a point in time I tried to read Robin Hood, and I was like, no, sorry, not at all. And I tried to read, I think, Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn. One of the two of those. I know I tried to read it, my mom tried to read it, and it was like that old English, kind of, like, no, sorry. Nope, sorry, I'm not doing this. Nope, and then nope, sorry, nope, sorry, nope, not happening. Good books, not super classics, not off, like, not heavy stuff, not hard to read, not mentally taxing. Good books. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I'd have to like figure out what I actually like. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, because I want to read more. But I can never find books that I love, like I really get invested in. So, I have a lot of see, that's the other problem too with me. I have a lot of random books that are like nothing to do with anything, but like, also I kind of have a couple of books where it's kind of a little too, what's the word? They're kind of similar to each other. So you would think, oh, you find one of the ones in there that are... No. I have like 3 pirate books or something. 2 or 3 pirate books. And I'm like, these are all... Or like, just ship books in general. Not necessarily pirates per se. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't really care. Also, I was reading the Airborne series once. I borrowed it from my friend. And it took a freaking year to get to, like... I'm not even joking. Like, the 4th or 5th chapter or something. Oh my god. It was absolutely, like... It was sad. It was actually sad, because he was like, the heck, man, you had it for, what, a year? What the frig? And I was like, yeah, I know, this is, like, I think I even, like, acknowledged, like, I know, this is just actually sad. So I just gave it back to him, I was like, I'm never going to finish this book in any reasonable time, so just take the book back. And he's like, yeah, I mean, hey. And he's like, hey, if you want the other ones, just let me know. And I would have got them if I actually finished them, because it was, like, it was something I kind of liked, but I just remember reading it. Almost every time I finished reading it, I would be like, what did I just read? That's the other thing. With the dyslexia, it's that whole, like, I do not process a lot of what I read. Text stuff, I do not, I'm not a text learner at all. So one of the worst things ever is when you give me a manual or something, I can read that manual or that, like, written instructions, like, literally dozens of times. And not understand it sometimes. Be like, wait. What? Go back to that. Like, I have to, like, stop. Oh, my God. So sometimes I'll read a sentence and not know what I just read. Like, my brain will be like, not comprehend anything I've just read. And then, but then other times, my brain will be like, hey, guess what? You could read a freaking entire chapter and know the whole thing. Or you could read paragraphs and be like, oh, I got that one, I got this one, I got this one. And then the brain could decide at a certain point, no, you know what? You'll read 3 words and have to restart that whole, or you could read, or your brain will do that thing where it's like, you're reading it, you think you understand it, and you finish like a paragraph or something, or you finish a chapter, or you finish a section, right? A little section. And then you'll stop and you'll be like, wait, what was that? Like, as you're reading it, like, you're understanding what you're reading, but you're not comprehending what you're reading. So you're just like, okay, so I'm reading, okay. So Billy went to the park, and he saw a dog, and the dog was ready to attack him. But then, you know, you go on, you're like, hey, whatever. And then you're like, it's going into your ears. You're getting it. It's going into your brain. You're acknowledging what you're reading. But then you don't comprehend any of it. You're like, wait, what did I just read? It's the weirdest thing about me. Oh my God, it's horrible. And I'm not the only one, I'm sure. I know I'm the only one, I know. But, like, it's just weird. It's just so, like, what? You know? It's like, what? Huh? So, yeah. That's another reason why I don't like reading, too, sometimes. It's like, wait. Huh? Did I comprehend anything of what was just said? And then the other problem with listening to it is my brain will just go somewhere else and, like, it'll go in my ears, right? But I'll not understand it because I'm, like, just thinking of something else or whatever. I'll also do that when I'm reading, too. I'll just think of something else while I'm verbally saying what I'm reading. I'm verbally saying what I'm reading and it's going into my brain. And I'm listening, but then I'm, like, thinking of something else. That's just that's, like, the weirdest concept every time it happens. I'm like, what? You know, I'll get the most frustrated, like, what? What? But, oh my God, it's like, what? And that's why I'm always like, oh, forget this. Like, why am I even reading this, you know? So, anyway, this could go on for a long time. I think I'm going to stop here. But yeah. So, it's a movie. It's a fine movie. From what I remember, it was a good movie. It is the best of the, like, motion capture movies. I do think so, actually, now that I remember, from what I remember of it. And yeah. And then if you got anything for me to read, please tell me. Oh, read? And in podcasts. I like podcasts. I can actually kind of do podcasts, depending on the subject. I can do podcasts, yes. To a certain extent, I can do podcasts, yeah. So yeah. Recommendations, please. Put them in the comments below, maybe. I don't know. I don't have it on my phone. So yeah, I think that'll be it for now, guys. So, adios, mi amigos.